My point was that the words that you use and the things that you say, if they're not necessarily the reddest of red meat, there's still a place and a time to use red meat, obviously. But when we're talking to people of different types, whether it's a women's group or a minority group or an age difference group, a younger group or an older group, you're going to use different languages, different words, choices with them, explain concepts in a different way based on where they're coming from. As a Tea Party leader, I never wanted politicians to come and speak at me. I wanted them to know that, or I wanted to know that they heard me and that they were able to understand what I was saying. It's the same thing anywhere in politics. If you're going in front of a group, if you're talking to a particular constituency, they want to know that you hear them. And so we might use terms a little differently with one group and another, and we might moderate the words. That's not moderating the principles. That's not saying that we're not talking about certain issues or that we're throwing them completely off the platform, that we should shut up about social issues or anything. Nobody thinks that. But it's that you need to focus on understanding the group that you're speaking to and understand that what sounds really good to the red meat crowd on the right is probably not going to be as persuasive to those people who've been left washed and that need a different sort of connection point with you. And so that was my whole point is when we're talking to different people and we use different words or we use different terms or we phrase things a different way, it's not selling out. I'm tired of people calling it selling out. It's learning the marketing strategies. We talked about this before. Leslie was talking about different ads running on different channels and how they're going to be different. You don't market to ESPN the way you do to Lifetime. And that we need to be more understanding in the right when our leaders do that and not simply, I guess, scream at them when they're not going to places that don't respond to red meat and saying red meat things. So hopefully that sort of penetrates with people, that we have sales to do. It's not just about saying what you want to say. It's about selling to other people.
Absolutely. We are in the liberty and freedom and conservatism selling business. That's our job as activists and as people who want to have more limited government, who want to change the way things are. It is up to us to go to these places, to go to these people, and package what we have to say in a way that they get in their language, and that's on us. It's not devaluing our message. It's not muddying it. It's just going and bringing our message in the most relevant language to the people who we're talking to, and that's important. That's marketing 101, really. I mean, that's what we need to do. It's not somehow unprincipled to talk to young people about the stuff that they care about in conservative context. It's absolutely not selling out when Rand Paul talks about there's no reason for you to be invading my space on my cell phone. There's no reason for you to be checking out my metadata. Talking about that stuff is not selling out. That is, that's going to a important constituency and making inroads. It's talking about any number of these issues. Making sure that we talk about making it easier to build a business, to own a business in areas that are way over-regulated. That the kind of obstructions to owning a business in inner cities, say, are so onerous that people can't start their businesses. They can't do what they want to do, whether it's through restrictions because hair braiding, you need a permit to braid people's hair, or any number of different things. Talking about issues that are important to a constituency and fall into conservatism, that is not watering down your message. That is making your message more effective. It's being a better messenger, and it's doing more for the cause.
Well, and what's the alternative? I mean, what is the alternative? To simply leave these various demographics like young people as unreachable? I mean, what's the game plan there? Is the game plan to keep preaching to them as if they're the choir and thereby talk ourselves into smaller concentric circles? I thought we had to look. I can be a small concentric circle when I want to make my own choices in life. I don't need voters to agree with me when I go get a value meal at McDonald's. I get the one I want. I need voters to agree with me when I'm going to win elections. That means I have to go to them. I don't get it. I don't understand how some people see that as wrong.
It's my principles. You're talking to people who I don't like. I don't like how they have their rap music and their enjoying Beyonce and horrible movies by Judd Apatow. I don't like that. I don't approve. Therefore, I don't want to deal with them in my party. I don't know. It doesn't really make very much sense to me either. But it's not selling out. The idea that making sure that you are being effective with your messaging is selling out is preposterous. I mean, when you're talking about anything, when you're trying to be persuasive about anything, you talk in the language that your audience speaks. That's what you have to do if you're going to get anything done.
So hopefully people think about that a little more before, I guess, charging off to, condemn folks that are actually going out to communities that they haven't been to or constituencies that we haven't traditionally tried for. Math is going to catch up with us. We have to make more of us. And it's not even making more, converting people. It's reminding them, as we said last week, reminding them or showing them that they already do agree with us.
Absolutely, and I think that transitions pretty well into talking about Andy's piece, because he has, surprisingly, Andy has a new piece out today on thepartyofchoice.com.
Yes, I got it out before this show, yes.
Thank you, finally, because we can put links places. It's so much easier.
JD doesn't hate me for a week. Yeah, this one I didn't put a lot of humor in. This one I really wanted to just equip people, and it's talking about free college. Now, I get pretty denigrating and mean in this article, and the reason is this. I think the concept of free college is so preposterous and idiotic, it actually redefines those words into a worse place. It's just so stupid. And it's hard for me. Haven't you ever had issues where it's hard for you even to talk about them because you're just like, how can anybody possibly advocate this? And it's hard to even reach out to them in that. So coming from there, here's how I do it. I've actually talked to young people about this, and I've used the talking points that I outline in the article, and folks, they work. They really do. I've gone through these talking points with some young people, and they're just like, oh, you're right. I don't want that. I don't want free college. Absolutely not. So basically I start like this. I just say, free college, I would never do that to you. They're like, what? I go, look, right now, let me ask you this. Why do you get a high school? And JD, go ahead and unclick your mic. I want to use you as the young person.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Okay. JD, right now, why do you get a high school degree? Why do you get one?
To get a better job, because we can go to college, and you need to have that college or that high school degree to get into college.
Exactly. It's the starting line for either getting a job or pursuing further education, right? Okay, next question. Why is it the starting line? Why isn't the starting line 6th grade or a master's degree? Why is it a high school degree? Why is that the leap-off point that you must, why is that the minimum you got to hit?
Because somebody somewhere determined that the skills, or the information that you learn in high school is the baseline for higher learning.
Okay, fantastic. Now JD knows the answer, but he gave the answer that a young person would give, and that's perfect. You can read them their answers for them. They'll understand. I just say, look, it's because it's free. Education is free through 12th grade. Whatever is free, everyone has or can have. Whatever everyone has, you need as a minimum to get started, right? Okay, so the next question. So why get a college degree, JD?
Because I want to make more money, and because there are societal pressures on me to go to college, because if I don't go to college, then I am a failure.
Yeah, okay, which isn't true, by the way, but you do it to get an advantage, to get skills and credentials that go beyond what is free, right? Okay, so if we make 2 years of community college free, now where's the starting line? Is it still at 12th grade? No, it isn't, right? By the way, it takes 13 years to go through that, right? K through 12. Now it's at 15 years. So let's add it all up. So if we get free education, if we make 2 years of college education free, now you have to endure 2 more years of education just to reach the starting line. And even then, you'll have no advantage whatsoever because everybody has it. So let's do the math. 2 more years plus no advantage equals 2 years of your life lost. But it gets worse. You see, increasing everyone's sentence by 2 years costs billions of dollars. And this must be taxed out of the free market. You know, that free market that's actually going to give you a job. All right? So let's do the math again. Now you're adding 2 more years before you can even get to the starting line and start your life. Plus you have no advantage, and there are fewer jobs. But it gets worse. The free market can't afford all these higher taxes, so we'll have to add billions of dollars to the national debt, which will also be paid off by, guess who? You, young people. So now, if we add 2 years of free education, it's 2 more years, no advantage, fewer jobs, and more national debt that has to be paid by younger people who have fewer jobs. See, and here's what I finally tell them. Don't go to a politician who wants to make you wait 2 more years to start your life. All he's doing is turning it into a non-advantage. The reason that you have to have a high school degree as your starting point is because that's what's free. Whatever is free, that establishes the starting point. What if we made 40 years of education free? That would make that the starting point. You wouldn't be able to start your life until then. Not for real.
Well, I mean, 40 is I've heard that that's where they want to make it so that you get off of your parents' health care insurance. So
when I tell young people this, I say, look, do you really want to push life back 2 more years? Do you now want to make it take 15 years before you can do anything that gives you any advantage in the workplace while you're sucking billions of dollars out of the workplace that would employ you? Do you want to do that? Do you enjoy school that much that you want to wait that long? I mean, weren't you really happy on that day that you graduated high school and skipped out of those and ran out the door? Let's push it back 2 years because that's all this does. Do you want that? And then they don't.
I mean, it's a good argument, and I agree with it, and I think that I have to come back and say that I kind of messed up when I introed the segment, because this is actually a new segment that we've been trying to put together, or this might be the second installment of this segment of What Do You Say, which is, you know, basically where we want to try and come together on the Refinery, talk about an issue, and get that issue, get a message for that issue out there, so that our audience has that kind of arrow in their quiver to talk about this thing on a level that that they can be successful with, and that they can discuss this and feel like they have some good level ground to start with. And I do agree with that tactic. I think that's a good way to approach it, because people are, certainly young people, don't want to be put into that holding pattern for even more time and for something that is ultimately not going to be worth anything. That kind of having this kind of deflation of the college degree and its worth is it's huge.
Well, the part that